Baha'i Faith is a worldwide religion with adherents from every race, culture, class, and nation of the earth. The purpose of the Baha'i Faith is the establishment of the oneness of humanity. The goal is to bring peace to every person on earth. The Baha'i Faith currently has about 5 million adherents. They come from every religion of the world, and their goal is to come together to establish unity upon the face of the planet. In the Baha'i Faith, some of the fundamental teachings are the oneness of mankind, the equality of men and women, the harmony of science and religion, the independent investigation of truth, and other such principles that you can easily obtain anywhere on the internet. The purpose of this video today is to share some of my journeys as a Baha'i in America and some of the things that I have gleaned from this revelation of Baha'u'llah. First, it should be noted that this video goes to so vast an audience. Some people are fundamentalists, some people are not religious at all, other people are suffering spiritually, and this is kind of what that's designed for those that are suffering spiritually. My goal is to not try to convert anybody to any religion or even to debate religion, but to really say this is the medicine that I've found helpful in my life, and if you find it effective in your life, wonderful. Part of the greatness of the revelation of Baha'u'llah is the concept that this has been foretold down through the ages as the day of one fold and one shepherd. From Christianity to Islam to Judaism, all of these Abrahamic religions have talked about a central figure that would come to earth and help to heal the nations. In the Baha'i Faith, the idea is that progressive revelation takes place in human history, which is that at one point Christianity was the pulsating energy of society. Of course, when Jesus first came, he was crucified. The people didn't hear him, didn't listen to him, didn't believe him. And for the fundamentalists that are watching this, and some of my friends that I have met, sometimes I use this example to help them to open their minds just a little bit. And I say, have you heard of Eshu Mashika? And invariably, most of them say no. And I say, well, Eshu Mashika was a figure that came and he claimed to be the messenger of God, the teacher of God, even the Son of God. And of course, my fundamentalist friends will say, that's impossible, that's not true. I say, well, what proof and evidence do you want me to try to produce in order to share this with you? Why do you believe in Christianity? And they say that they have an inner feeling sometimes, or it's everywhere in society. And I say, well, Eshu Mashika is an Aramaic word, which is what Jesus Christ was called when he walked on the face of this earth. Therefore, I encourage them to not allow a name to veil them from the beauty of Christianity and from the beauty of the message of what Jesus Christ brought to earth. Christ said, I have many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear it now. The Baha'is claim that once more God has spoken. As he did the first time, he came walking and talking on this earth, but the people have mostly rejected him in the same way that they did Jesus Christ. Yet the principles of the Baha'i Faith are the very healing things that we need for this world right now. At the core of the Baha'i Faith is the fundamental concept of the oneness of mankind, the unity of humanity. Baha'u'llah says, you are the leaves of one tree, and the waves of one sea. Right now, when we have nations rising up against nations, wars and rumors of wars, people dying, horrible deaths all over this planet because of disease, economic injustices, and people lost inwardly, spiritually, as to where to turn for spiritual salvation, you might say. Where is the voice of God in this day? Although it's fundamentally at the heart of every religion, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, yet there is a fresh outpouring of the measure of the grace of God for this day. Either it is true or it is not true. But I'm here to suggest to you that this indeed has happened once again. And for you then to decide, is this something that you would like to participate in, to learn about, to hear about, or will you be one of the same people that crucified Jesus by letting a name veil you from the truth? Religions, according to the Baha'i Faith, are like the seasons of the year. In the springtime, the manifestation or the teacher of God comes, such as Jesus, and he releases a spiritual power that revolutionizes those around him and those beyond him, such that it's a wonderful time. Then civilization is established, which would be like the summertime of his religion, which institutions are established and organizations and societies are improved. Eventually, however, the incrustations of man's teachings and other things create a vapidness or a lacking spirit that makes religions go into the wintertime. But once again, when God sees this, God sends a teacher to inspire us and to help us on this journey of life. But he doesn't do it in such a way that it's what's known as in Greece, the Deus Ex Machina, when the plays would get so complicated and the storylines in ancient Greece, nobody could solve them. So they had a machine god, the Deus Ex Machina, that would come down from above and would solve everybody's problems, saying you do this and you do that, and the story would end that way. This is known as the Deus Ex Machina. However, that does not seem to be the way that God operates. He comes talking quietly, gently, and inviting us. If he were to come down on the clouds, everybody on earth would be terrified. Nobody would have a free choice to either believe or not believe at that point. But that's more for the fundamentalist Christians, necessarily. The purpose of this discussion today is to try to knit together the hearts of people and to try to say, how can we establish unity on the face of the earth? In the Baha'i Faith, it is believed that this is the ocean to which all the rivers of religions have been flowing. The day of God, the day of one fold and one shepherd. In many places, Baha'u'llah is known as the Lord of Hosts. That's why you have Muslims, all forms of Christians, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, all coming to the Baha'i Faith and saying this is the fulfillment of the religious teachings of their heritage. To the Buddhist, Baha'u'llah is the Admit Abha, or the fifth Buddha. To the Christians, he is the return of the Spirit of Christ. To the Muslims, there are various things that you can discuss with them, but essentially it is the fulfillment of the religion too. Now, this is for you to investigate. One of the principles of the Baha'i Faith is the independent investigation of truth. There are no ministers, there are no preachers in the Baha'i Faith. It's just the regular people trying to strive for peace and goodwill on earth, which is what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to give my part on this planet with so much suffering going on, and trying to say here is the new medicine from God to help heal the ailments of society and to heal the person, the individual. Baha'u'llah has written hundreds and hundreds of prayers. And it's one thing if just a poet comes and says, here's a prayer. But if Baha'u'llah is the prophet of God, is the voice of God for this day and age, and if it is inspired by God, then that should be shaking news. The very being that created the stars and the planets, all of creation, if he were to speak again, would that not be thrilling and exciting? That's the claim of the Baha'i Faith. And what did he come and say? He came and said, to establish peace and love on earth. What harm is there in this? So, from this video, I hope to share several things about my journey along this path, and hopefully some of it will be helpful for you. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day who's rather sad in life and very anti-religious. And I can understand that position. Many people are atheist or agnostic, and as you know, atheists, they suspend belief in God, and agnostic is not sure. Maybe there is one, maybe there isn't one. But I have heard a new term lately that's called apatheist, which is that basically it's an apathy that you just don't care. Whether there is a God or it's not relevant to your life or to anybody's life. And that's the winter time of religion. But I'm here to say a springtime has emerged with wonderful teachings for the healing of the nations and for the healing of the world. Think about how that very principle, the equality of men and women, is infiltrating all of society right now. Right now, the problems of the world of hatred, prejudice, Baha'u'llah pointed out the best beloved of all things in his sight is justice. You can't have peace on earth without justice. And this is what the impulse of the teaching of the Baha'i Faith is, how to create justice on earth. I have personally found the Baha'i prayers remarkably sustaining and inspiring. I've read several classes in school, taken for the texts of the Western tradition, the poets and the philosophers, and the writings of Baha'u'llah are so far beyond and so beautiful that I encourage you to look into them. They're all over the internet. You can just type in Writings of Baha'u'llah and you'll be able to see them. Until next time, I hope that this is a little bit of upliftment for you. Thank you for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.